Hello, my name is Elina Nyquist, and I will be taking a look at Ego Race, which is by Teresa Richert. Teresa Richert is a Canadian composer and musician. She was born in 1964, and she still is presently living today. She is a graduate of the Royal Conservatory of Music and Composition and Theory, piano teaching, and performance. She taught lessons for more than 30 years and retired in 2016, but she is still composing today. She is a member of the Red Leaf Piano Works Collective. This was since around 2011, and she has composed more than a dozen solo piano collections and piano duets and trios. She also didn't just compose for piano, she also composed for orchestra, ensembles, and other solo instruments as well. And this is a picture of her. Um, so Eagle Race. This is a RCM grade level 4 piece. It's marked to have an expressively tempo, which is chord note equals 132, so it's a bit more brisk. It basically stays that tempo throughout, and except it does a retard towards the end. Excuse me. The key is in D minor, so there's only one flat, and the students only need to worry about that, although there are some accidentals scattered throughout the piece. In terms of dynamics, it might be a bit challenging to play the notes at a faster pace when there are softer dynamics that are decrescendoing and crescendoing. It's never gets above mezzo forte. The piece ranges from pianissimo to mezzo forte. So definitely the piece never gets as loud as students want it to. So that would be something to work out with them as well. In terms of pedal, the piece is marked to play with pedal for the piece, though it doesn't say how you should have them play it, but I would probably recommend that the students play with pedal, changing each measure. In the melody is mostly whichever hand has half notes, so it does switch between the left and right hands pretty frequently throughout the piece. So making sure that you circle it with them or you play it separately with them to make sure they know which part is the melody would be important, and that the eighth notes need to be quieter than the melody so that they can really be brought out would be important. So also the notes need to be evenly traded between the right and left hands in this piece. So it would be important that you worked on the coordination of going back and forth, especially in the first few measures. As you can see, it just goes straight from the left to the right to left, and then right, left. So making sure that they can do that in an even pace as well would be important. So metronome use would be recommended. Students need to also be able to read the treble clef with the left hand. In the beginning, as you can see, the left hand starts in treble clef. So if they aren't comfortable with that, I would have to make sure they read it first, before adding the left hand so that they can know what notes they are. And then I would work on it accordingly with them. So making sure they're comfortable first before they dive into it would be important. There's also a few skips that are larger than the 5-finger pattern too, scattered throughout the piece. So this might be a bit uncomfortable if they're not used to this. So the students would probably need to be a bit more familiar with the topography of the keyboard in order to be able to do this in a way that they aren't like putting unnecessary tension in their hands or knuckles. So yeah, and also the eighth notes are in one hand and sustained half notes in the other, making sure that they can do that because it does happen in both the left and right hands and switches. So making sure that they can do this without like breaking up the tempo at a faster pace would have to be worked on slowly in order for the coordination to be there. So also even though the piece is D minor and has a B flat in the key signature, there is a lot of B natural accidentals scattered throughout, and then second page, It kind of switches and there's a lot of B, like just it doesn't have any accidentals, so it would just be a B flat. Students might have a tendency to not play that B flat because they're used to playing B natural, and even I did when I like first was running through this piece. So I would make sure that they either circle it or they're just really aware that the it goes back to the D minor, and yeah, so then that would be definitely something to look at as well. Um, Careful of the rest. Oh yeah, so I think that there's a lot of rests that are kind of sneaky that come up when maybe the students would want to play their notes a bit too long, but they should only like where's an example? Like right here, make sure they don't like play a whole note there. Um Also in measure 5, making sure that they just hold that for just an eighth note worth, even though there's a tenuto over it. And there's like other examples throughout as well. So I would make sure that they're aware of how long these notes need to be held. And that's about it. So I'm gonna be playing Eagle Race for you, so I hope you enjoy. Thank you.